Hey, this is Max Adamson here with a new series that I'm starting up called An Aspie's Guide to Theater. The idea of this series is to talk about the relationship I've seen between mental health, neurodiversity, and the arts. For this first episode, I wanted to talk about how improvised theater, in my experience, can help autistic people deal with nonverbal communication. For those of you that don't know, nonverbal communication makes up most of the communication that humans do and just refers to any type of communication that does not involve speaking. This involves everything like eye contact, posture, body language, and gestures that we do. Possibly the most well-known symptom of autism is that we have trouble communicating with and interpreting nonverbal communication. And this brings me to where improv comes into play. Since in improv everything is made up on the spot, you have to be able to communicate to the people you're sharing the stage with where you want a scene to go very quickly and easily. Most of this communication is nonverbal. In the way you present your characters or show your relationship to the other characters on stage, all of it is how you present yourself more than what you actually say. I've worked with one person who's been doing improv and comedy for more than 20 years now, who would always talk about this type of communication as a conversation, where you present them with something and they respond back and forth without saying any words. When I heard them say that, I instantly thought of how that could be applied to help people with autism. For a while now, I've been trying to figure out how to use improv and theater to help people with autism develop these skills, because in my life I saw that these skills are beneficial for me, and I figured that they could be beneficial for other people on the spectrum. I've even been part of a program locally that's trying to apply these methods, that I can't disclose any information about, but I do believe has been fairly successful so far. I think that this approach of treating improv like a conversation might be the best way to go about teaching it to people with autism. When I was about 14 years old, I learned how to do two things: how to do good improv and how to have a conversation. These things may seem unlinked, but actually I think now that they both were teaching me the same thing. Having a conversation and doing improv are both about giving offers and accepting offers and finding new ways to interpret them. In a conversation, we ask questions and wonder things about the other person. In improv, we give out offers and endow other people with characteristics and things that help progress the scene. In both cases, it's about making sure that both people keep the scene or conversation going and that both people are treated as equals. And again, most of these are done through nonverbal communication. In improv, you communicate how you feel in a scene by your body language, and you have to always make sure that you're open up to both the audience and the other players on stage, and that we can always see your face. Similarly, in a conversation, people expect you to look at them, try to make eye contact, and to always be facing that person and open to them. They also pick up most of how you feel about whatever you're talking about by your body language and how you react to them more than what you actually say. This is where improv helps, because it teaches you those skills of interpreting and communicating nonverbally in a way that is fun and that the autistic person can understand. When teaching social skills to people with autism, they often say that nonverbal communication are a series of subtle signals that people lay out. But this I now realize is wrong. It is a conversation that we are all having whether we know it or not, and that we always have to be aware of. And improv is a good way to be aware of that. Thank you for watching the first episode of An Aspie's Guide to Theater. And scene.